Dan Zimmerman here from beautiful Copperhead Creek Shooting Range in Marble Falls, Texas, along with
Jeremy from shootingnewsweekly.com. Dan's the managing editor. I'm some sort of a person, and it's a great day out here. It's a beautiful day. We're not boiling.
No.
We're not freezing. The spring, you know,
spring in Central Texas. It's beautiful and we're sneezing.
This video, I'm gonna nerd out a little bit on you. I hope you're into this. This is my personal HK P7, which I had refinished. It's color case hardened. Midwest Gunworks did that. They put on a set of nil grips and some Trijicon night sights on here. But this is a classic original P7. This was made in August of 1984 in Germany. I really wanted it to say West Germany, but it says Germany, which is fine. The P7 there's no other gun on the market like the P7, and it set a lot of firsts. This was the first pistol to have 3-dot sights on it. It wasn't the first striker fired pistol, but it was close. HK invented that, I think, in the VP70 or something. This is the first pistol with polygonal rifling in the barrel that Glock was famous for. It has some very unique features. So, first of all, it is a fixed barrel. The barrel doesn't move, it doesn't rotate, it is actually pinned to the frame. It's completely fixed. And it's not a blowback gun though, it's not a direct blowback. There's a little port in front of the chamber, and that port leaks gas down into, I mean, I hate to call it this because it's a German gun, but it's a gas chamber. I mean, I don't know what else you could possibly call it, right? So this is HK calls it a gas retarded system. I actually think it's kind of smart. It's a gas delayed blowback. So the gas goes into a chamber, and underneath the slide is a piston. And this piston is trying to go into a chamber, and it fits tightly in there. It has like little baffles or seals on it. When the barrel is under pressure, so is that little gas chamber. And the piston can't get into the chamber because it's under pressure. After the round goes out and the pressure clears out the muzzle, the pressure drops in that chamber and the piston's able to go. Actually, this little button back here, that's our takedown lever. So if I pull it back, I can lift the slide right off the frame, very easy. And we can see that is the piston, and down under here is the chamber that the piston slides into. So it just can't go. And all that does is delay the action. So it's gas retarded, retarded in the sense of delay, right?
Holding it back. Holding it back,
preventing it from going. Let's see if I can do this. You just, done. Very easy. That's also a super easy takedown, right? That wasn't a thing at the time this gun was invented. You always had to drive out pins and stuff, so that's unique. What people know of as the most unique feature about the HK P7 is that it's a squeeze cocker. So most people haven't squeezed a cock before, and you just do it here. That is your squeeze cock, and you'll notice that the striker comes out. Striker fired. When you let go of it, the striker drops. It takes about 10 to 13-ish, depending on kind of how you measure it, pounds to cock the gun. But once it's cocked, it takes 1 to 1.5 pounds to keep it cocked. So that is the only way it becomes fireable, which means you can load the gun without ever having it in a condition that makes it fireable, even though there's no safety. So it's a fast system. And when you take a full firing grip, it's cocked. And now it has a really crisp, really nice single action trigger. Big flat faced, or not, oh, it's curved, but it's got a big wide trigger. It feels really good on the finger. So single action only gun, very quick, but you don't need a safety and other stuff. It's all built into here. A lot of people don't know this, but there is a slide lock, and it locks back on empty. See this little flipper down in here, that teeny little thing? That's a lever. And if I push into the grip on that thing, I can lock the slide back with that. Now, when you drop the magazine, and it's a heel release right here on the original, they eventually did move it to kind of a more modern style, but when you come up to get your mag, you push that heel release with your thumb and rip your mag out, put your new mag in, and you can either slingshot the slide to drop it, or as soon as you go to cock the gun again, boom, drops your slide. This was considered like a gunfighter gun. A lot of features to make it super fast, and one of those is a low bore axis. So this, I mean, it might be the lowest bore axis on the world. I always have grease marks when I shoot it. Get up on here and it's just like I mean, it's millimeters above the back of your hand. So that combined with the gas delayed blowback system makes this a very flat shooting gun, even though it's really compact. Super fast, super accurate thanks to that fixed barrel, that polygonal rifling. And then HK used to advertise this 110-degree grip angle. Apparently, if you just go like stick your hand out and point, that angle of your wrist is 110 degrees, says them. So this gun points like exactly naturally. And I have always found that it's super fast. I mean, if you were just gonna point at a target like that and you do that with this gun, it's on.
You're on.
Like dead freaking on. Now, interestingly enough though, the magazine doesn't follow the grip angle like every gun does. The magazine goes in almost vertical through the grip like this. And that does two things for you. One, it improves feeding because it lines up. You'll notice the round is perfectly lined up with the chamber. It doesn't hit a feed ramp. It goes exactly into the chamber, and that's because it's not like this, it's like that. The other thing this does is it has a longer barrel than you would expect based on where the grip is in this short frame. The chamber's all the way back here. And they do that by getting the magazine to go up. So it's super interesting, like really well thought out. Final note, I think, unless I'm forgetting something, is like an MP5, this has a fluted chamber. So inside the chamber, there's grooves cut into it, like 9 of them. And I'll show you on some fired brass, but gas goes around the brass and actually floats the brass out of the chamber. So while this pistol does have an extractor on it, that's mostly to like remove a loaded round, you know, if you're clearing your gun, because it will run, unlike any other pistol, it will run without an extractor. Should your extractor break or whatever, it floats those cases out and it ejects them with no extractor, which is really cool.
Slick. Makes you wonder why nobody else does that.
Yeah, I don't know. You really don't see fluted chambers very often, except in some of the roller locker guns like the G3 and the MP5. And this pistol, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I don't know if I've heard of that being in another pistol. Serrated top of the slide to reduce glare, which, you know, it was less glare before I had it color case hardened. But man, this is good looking. So maybe I've nerded out on everything there is to nerd out on. It was a very expensive gun. At the time it was made, HK actually advertised it as the most expensive gun in the world. And if you take off these grip panels, you see why. All of the inner workings for the squeeze cocker and everything else going on, it looks like a clock in there. It's super, super complicated. And it's all machined. There's no, you know, MIM stuff. That's why they stopped making it. It wasn't super popular. The German police carried it. The New Jersey State Patrol famously carried them. This was a German police trade-in actually, which is why I refinished it. It was all beat up. But it just got priced out, and today in, you know, 2020 whatever, the labor to make this and the machine hours, it wasn't worth it for them. I think they'd find a buyer these days. If they were selling them for $3,000, I think they'd find that. They absolutely would.
Yeah, because you're right. It would be $2,500 to $3,000.
Yeah, it would easily be up there, and it would be worth it. This is my favorite gun in my entire collection. This one means a lot to me. It's my barbecue gun or whatever. I do carry it. Like in the winter, I only have an OWB nice leather holster for it, and I carry it regularly in the winter, and that's because I shoot it really well. Downside, it won't run anything over like 124 grain ammo. I can't get it to run 147s. It's notorious for that. Not exactly sure why. I usually carry the 115 HSTs. It only holds 8 in the magazine. So they did come out with different versions in the, you know, subsequent years. There's the M13 and it holds 13 rounds, but and they made it with the thumb, you know, button. This is mine, it's an original and I love it.
That's all that matters.
So let's shoot some through. I'll shoot it first so Dan can deal with it being hot, which is another downside because of that German gas chamber up here, which is right at the top of the trigger guard. It starts to heat up at the trigger guard. You fire a couple magazines and index your finger here and it's hot. Like, you fire 3 magazines, it will burn you. 2 and it's uncomfortable and you're not gonna put your finger there. They did fix that in subsequent versions where they put like a heat shield in there. But again, it's a gunfighter gun. It's not a competition gun. It's not a go screw around at the range gun. It's like, you know, police gunfighter gun. So hold that grip. Yeah. Oh, I love this thing. Nice. So now if I were reloading, I'd grab the magazine, strip it out, I put it back in, squeeze the grip, and we're back in business. Yeah. I mean, Dan, there's nothing else that shoots like a P7. Make you load up. So let me, actually I don't even notice any warmth. That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Remember to getting warm a little quicker, but look how good looking that gun is. Yeah.
Party.
Yeah, Midwest Gunworks did a good job. They refinished the frame, all the parts, cleaned it up. So there are rumors that some police who carried this were saved by the squeeze cocker. The bad guy got their gun and, you know, nothing was happening.
Yeah.
So it's safe for taking down, loading, doing all the kind of manipulation, putting in a holster, all that stuff. Like, this gun is dead unless you squeeze that.
Yeah.
And you can squeeze it and release it on a live round. It's safe, it's all blocked inside there.
I always wanted to shoot one of these. Nice. Wow.
I'm telling you, there's nothing that I shoot faster or more accurately than that. My group sizes with the P7 are so tight.
And I understand the thumb and the thumb release, but there's something to be said for the heel, the European heel release, because yeah, you get that little ridge, put your thumb on there, strip it out, put a new one in. That's pretty fast.
Yeah, I like the heel release. The only people who do that on current guns is like Keltec.
Yes.
But
yeah, I think
sense.
that new stripper clip fed gun has the heel release. But anyway.
All right, guys.
Beautiful gun.
That's the HK P7. And today, I mean, I got this for $600 back in 2013, I think, 2012, 2013, which was a good deal at the time. But now, I mean, they're especially original P7s or some of the limited ones. You're at thousands and thousands of dollars. I see them going for $8,000 if they're, you know, the threaded barrel version and all sorts of stuff. So, hope you like that. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I did or I got something wrong, put it in the comments below. I'm going to write an article about this on shootingnewsweekly.com about all the firsts that the HK P7 had and all the things that make it unique and I think the best pistol in the world, even though it has a gas chamber, which is not politically correct. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you at shootingnewsweekly.com and out here on the range next time.